Hey everybody, another edition of Off the Top Rope here off the Mike Sports Network. So WrestleMania 41 right around the corner, Monday Night Raw, the last Monday Night Raw before Mania in Las Vegas is in the books, and large chunk, pretty good show, a lot of good in-ring work, a lot of good promos. To some, for the 2.5 hours it was on television, kind of didn't get the job done. But I will tell you one thing: the ending of the show was riveting, and it goes to show you how incredible this story is between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk, and Paul Heyman for that matter, heading into their triple threat match to main event the show without any titles on the line. And the only time that that's ever happened, really, outside of maybe like Lawrence Taylor and maybe a couple other instances, but it's just wild to me that, it was an impromptu Stone Cold Kevin Owens match a couple years ago that really was the main event of a night one. And then everything else has really been for a title. And so it's wild the build that this match has had to get to this point. You could honestly make an argument that it's right up there with Cody Rhodes and John Cena and their story, because it's been consistently told on television, even with some of the particulars not there. That's what's insane about this whole thing. Um, but I need to point this out here before we get to WrestleMania, because first and foremost, I have no freaking idea who's going to win this match. Seth Rollins stands tall at the end of this show, after just an incredible callback to, and it's the second time in the span of the last 12, 13 months that we've seen a steel chair to the back, which, and by the way, shout out to Seth Rollins. And I know Triple H with those little nuances. They had Seth dress up like the Shield. They knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. And the second I saw that shot of Roman facing that direction, I was like, oh my God, they're actually doing it again. And the only thing that was missing, they didn't do it in Indianapolis. They did this in Sacramento, California. It doesn't matter, because they did the same thing in reverse at last year's WrestleMania, and it cost Roman Reigns everything, the championship with Cody Rhodes. So just amazing stuff. Like, the favor, a lot of people are going to be mad about how important this favor is. Guys, it's gotten you interested, right? And I've said, this is a fantastic story. It's a little bit different. And a lot of the stuff that CM Punk has been doing in WWE since he came back is a lot different than what we're accustomed to. These longer builds, these more deliberate, slower builds. Like, what was the favor? We had been intrigued about this since November, and now we know. Now, where is Paul Heyman's allegiance going to lie? Is he going to align with Seth? I propose that could be a possibility. Does he leave with Roman? Does he leave with Seth? Does he leave with Punk? Or does he just leave on his own and let these three guys just battle and beat the living piss out of each other? Whatever it is, it's going to be great at WrestleMania, and I cannot wait to see this. But a couple things here. First off, Seth Rollins is the MVP of this whole thing. Seth Rollins is the MVP of this whole thing. And frankly, an argument can be made that that since COVID, one of the biggest MVPs of this entire product is Seth freaking Rollins. Because whether he's had a title, whether he had the United States title, whether he's having to lose 3 times to Cody Rhodes, whether he's having to show up on a bum knee and, do a bunch of shit over the course of an entire weekend last year, or, carry a feud when Roman Reigns is not there, when CM Punk is kind of in and out of things. And yet still, he is kind of like, a lot of people would look at this and be like, he's kind of the afterthought. But in the last couple of weeks, they've done a really good job of reminding us how great this guy is. Because on the microphone, he has been special. He has been, we know how great Seth is as an in-ring performer. Maybe one of the best of all time. One of the greatest of all time in the ring, as far as I'm concerned. But we have been reminded the last few weeks that if you peel back a lot of the goofiness and the singing the song and all the loud outfits, when you give this guy a microphone and you give him a chance to cut a real promo and just, really authentic and just actually just let him cook on the microphone, he is as good as there is in this company. And the last 2 weeks with the closing angle with Paul Heyman, where he almost stomped him, and then this week, he comes out on the microphone, has a little shouting battle with Roman Reigns about the whole thing, and sort of messes with Roman Reigns' mind about, hey, can you really trust Paul Heyman? You're starting to figure out that CM Punk is kind of the snake in the grass. And it all leads to, Seth Rollins getting the last word really in this whole thing, and smacking Roman in the back, all of the shields. So that's going to mess with Roman psychologically. You get some stomps from all over the place. Paul Heyman's just petrified. Like, everybody in this feud has really shined in their own significant way, but I don't think that this feud, especially you go back to if you go back all the way to January 6th when they started this whole thing with the first match on Netflix, then you go to the Rumble where he just basically kills everybody. Um, and just it's just like you would think in a triple threat match of this magnitude, especially with somebody as big of a star as Roman Reigns and somebody with the gravitas and just all the fodder that comes with CM Punk, that it would be easy for Seth Rollins to get lost in the shuffle. And I give him a ton of credit. Obviously, he's got Triple H in his corner, and I give these guys a ton of credit for just letting this thing cook. I don't know who's going to win this thing on Saturday, but it's going to be great. You know that all three of these guys are going to bring it in the ring. But I needed to commend Seth Rollins for, what he has done in this feud. Specifically, hell, if you want to take a look at what this guy has done, let's just crunch. Let's do this for a second. Bear with me. So, let's go back all the way since he came back. Let's look at his WrestleMania history. He's one of the MVPs of WWE as far as I'm concerned. So he misses WrestleMania 32 because of that knee injury. WrestleMania 33 barely makes it back with a real shoot injury and faces Triple H in a match at that show, which was great. 34 kicks off the show with a banger, wins the Intercontinental Championship, has a great Intercontinental title run. Leading into 35. That's when, John Moxley ends up leaving the company. He wins the Royal Rumble, and then he beats Brock Lesnar in the opening match of WrestleMania 35. Granted, it was a 7-hour show, but still. Hey, 36, he puts Kevin Owens over. Kevin Owens jumped off the sign in the Performance Center. 37, he puts over Cesaro. Cesaro, who's not even there anymore. 38, he put over Cody Rhodes three different times, including a match where Cody couldn't even move his arm because he had a torn pec. 39, he has a match with Logan Paul that was a banger. WrestleMania 40, we've already talked about and documented, the 40-minute match on night one, then the match with Drew to start off night two, and then coming out in the Shield gear and barely being able to walk and do that. And now here we are at WrestleMania 41. He's in the main event again, and you would think it would be so easy for him to be the background character to Punk and Roman when that was admittedly a dream match. And specifically in the last 2 weeks, and really throughout this entire feud, he has shined in his own right. And that takes a lot, and that takes a special talent to not be outshined by two mega stars like CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So the Visionary's back, people. I don't know if he's going to turn heel. I don't know if he's going to align with Paul Heyman. Whatever it is, this has been a goddamn masterpiece from him. He's been one of the MVPs of this entire product. And I would say he's been one of the MVPs of this entire product for the last decade, as far as I'm concerned. And this is really a culmination of that. He's not going to, because he's in a match with two of the biggest stars in this company, no titles on the line. He could very easily be overshadowed. And yet here he is getting the last laugh going into WrestleMania. And he looks and sounds like he belongs in this feud. He does not feel like an afterthought, which is really just a testament to his ability. So, I've sung the praises of Seth on this channel, but I wanted to do it here because I feel like it's kind of gotten lost in the sauce a little bit because of just, the favor and he's kind of been just around there. But even when he was laughing in the ring when the favor was revealed, he's been outstanding. Really great. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys soon on another edition of Off the Top Rope. Bye-bye.